gonna try it again, and I don't know if I'll say it right or not.
Okay. Pocola.
Pocola. Same
Pocola.
soda, like cola.
That's what gets me. Pocola, because Pocola, I'm like getting cola.
Start with pecan.
Pocola.
Pecan cola.
Yeah, there you go. Pocola.
Pecan cola, okay.
Pocola.
Cola. Alright.
That did it.
Yeah.
And welcome back to the Okahoma Today podcast. I'm your host, Ben Lucian, and do you smell what The Rock is cooking? Probably something delicious and full of protein. But The Rock is no chef. Do you know who is a chef? That would be Jet Tila. You know him from Food Network shows such as Chopped, Cutthroat Kitchen, Guys Grocery Games, and his own show, Ready Jet Cook. He is headed to the Choctaw Casino Resort in Pocola, Okahoma. Yes, I've had trouble with that one. They're doing a chef takeover event. It's a new series they've started. He's head there December 27th and 28th. We're going to hear from Jet in a moment. But first, a friendly reminder to please hit subscribe if you've not already done so. We're still a young show, and my goal is to get to 50 subscribers before the end of the year. I think we can do it, but you got to help me out. Now let's bring in our lovely panel here. And Dante look great. Yes. Who here is good at trivia?
E.
Carly is like the Ken Jennings of tourism department trivia. When we used to do trivia at lunch, she won every week.
Mm-hmm.
Every
You
week.
always do good in Employee of the Month.
I do okay, but Carly is the queen.
Also have Employee of the Month trivia. Well, I've got a question for the panel here. Do you know what lizard found in western Oklahoma can shoot blood from its eyes when threatened?
Me.
The horny toad, yeah.
Yes, the horned lizard, the Texas horned lizard, and I've got one right here. As you can see, this is sent to us by the Oklahoma City Zoo, and it's our prize today on our new segment, Tuesday Trivia. So how this is going to work is on Tuesdays, we're going to post on social media a Oklahoma-related trivia question, and all you have to do is write in, and we will give you a date to tune into the show, and you can watch to see if you've won. So does that sound clear?
That sounds very.
Yes.
That's exciting.
Well, our first question is not to do with Texas lizards, although that is the great prize that the zoo gave us. Our question today is actually related to when we had Gayla Peavy on the show earlier. That was a lot of fun.
That was fun.
Gayla Peavy, of course, the original singer of I Want a Hippopotamus for Christmas. So a lot of people think that song was originally intended as a fundraiser for the zoo to bring in their first hippo. But it was actually the other way around. The song was so popular that the zoo sort of capitalized on it and used it to bring in the funds to bring in their very first hippopotamus. So my question to you all is, what is the name of that hippopotamus? The first hippopotamus that hit the Oklahoma City Zoo.
Oh.
Do you know?
No.
Matilda.
Yeah, correct.
Good job.
Yes. Matilda the hippo. Congratulations.
Yay.
Good job.
Well, you knew that answer, and you know who else knew that answer? Anita Thompson in Blanchard. Anita, we'll be in touch soon. You're going to get this great horned lizard prize from the Oklahoma City Zoo.
That's exciting.
I'm so jealous.
Yeah, not many
know,
people
right?
can say they actually have a horned lizard stuffy.
Merry Christmas, Anita.
I will say these ridges are kind of sharp.
No, it's pretty
I'm
like
impressed.
sharp
It's a
as in
nice-
cool or sharp as in
Very nice stuffing.
Yeah, for sure.
In all the ways that you can interpret it. So now it's time for question of the week, our favorite. Fitting with the culinary theme of this week's episode, I asked who or which chef would you pick to cook your next meal? Mm-hmm. I've got a lot of amazing culinary talent, a lot of great chefs in Oklahoma. We do a great job of covering them in the magazine, but I'm open-minded for this question, so I'll take a wide variety of answers. Editor-in-Chief Nathan Gunner, where are you thinking for this?
Man, ever since I interviewed Tab Singleton and Ida Bell, I can't stop thinking about that barbecue. So probably Tab. That's some good barbecue.
Yes.
Yeah, it's really, really, really good. Mm-hmm. So Tab Singleton is my vote. And you can read in my interview with him in the next issue, in the January issue, which should be as this is airing, almost on its way to people.
Well, we're so excited to have Chef Tab at our event.
Who knows? On March 1st at the Stewart Ranch in Waurika.
Yep.
And the video of that interview will be on podcast.
Yes.
Coming up.
A pending episode, so stay tuned for that one.
Yay.
Photo editor Megan Rossman, who is the chef who should be cooking your next meal?
I would really like it if Miranda Kaiser cooked my next meal.
That's who I almost said.
I loved her restaurant Lafa in Tulsa. The shawarma platter there was perfect. Everything she cooks is amazing. And I would love for her to just materialize, maybe not in my kitchen, maybe in a nicer kitchen, maybe in her own kitchen.
There you go.
And make a amazing meal, because she would kill it. Also, everybody go through theirs, and if nobody else says him, then I'll talk about another chef.
Okay.
All right.
We might circle back. Senior editor Carly Ibarra, what chef are you looking for?
So my dinner would require some necromancy, but I want James Beard to cook me dinner.
Wow.
Good
He's,
answer.
I mean, he's
Yeah.
the
Not bad.
name, the sake of the big award. So I
This
think,
was Okahoma chef.
well, I
anybody.
dreamed outside of the
Oh
box.
no, it's anybody.
Yeah.
I still would pick Miranda Kaiser.
Yeah.
There you go.
I like the Beard nomination because it's sort of a put up or shut up.
Exactly.
James Beard,
Yeah.
you're judging everyone else.
Or we
Yeah,
that's
And
right.
that's your food.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kirsten Stone, research editor. Who's the chef that should be cooking your next meal?
I went basic. I would like Gordon Ramsay.
That's
I
not
want the
basic.
Ramsay.
He's
a good one.
good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he has a restaurant in Oklahoma City.
I know he does, and I haven't been.
I don't either. I've heard it's great though. Everybody on the
And have
really
beef
likes it.
Wellington.
They do?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's like his signature dish.
Cool. What about you, Ben?
I'm gonna have to go. I did go with Oklahoma chef Jeff Chancellor from Oklahoma City.
Chef Jeff.
Yes.
Yes.
So delicious. Any of his creations, sign me up for that. I will say I was a big fan of Iron Chef as a kid, and I would love Bobby Flay to cook me up something because he battled. They had this USA Japan crossover with Bobby Flay and Masaharu Morimoto. And that was like my Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. Something else. Chris, you look prepared to answer this question.
So without a doubt for me, it's Kurt Fleischfresser.
Yeah.
That guy's the best.
That was my
That's what you were
other.
gonna say? Yeah. I love that man. I've known him forever.
Yeah.
He used to do back in the early days of Discover Oklahoma, made an Oklahoma product. He'd cook a recipe of made all Oklahoma products. Anyway, that's my choice.
That's a good answer.
There was this might have been the easiest question for me out of all of them. Just so.
Yeah.
Kurt.
And his son Kyle is also an amazing chef too.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say either that or Andrew Black.
Wow,
Andrew Black would be great.
Andrew Black is amazing. I thought for sure somebody was gonna say Andrew Black, so
There you go.
but there are so many chefs that I love. But Miranda Loft,
I miss that place every day. Miranda, come on.
God, that was
We miss it.
my favorite place to eat in Tulsa.
There are more great chefs than answers that were allowed.
That's true. Yeah.
Yes.
Did people have anything to say on social
They
media?
did.
Yeah.
In fact, Jerry Isbell says he agrees with you. The Food Network Chop Champion and my good pal Tab Singleton in Idaho.
He's the sweetest ever too. Yeah.
You can't go wrong there. Clint Stone says Chef Bo Taylor from Catering by Bo Taylor.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
I've heard
so
good
there.
things.
Sandra Soli says Ina Garten, the barefoot contestant.
Yes, I would love to hang out with her.
Yeah.
Just like at her beach house. Oh man.
Honestly, she doesn't even have to cook.
No,
Right?
I can just hang and drink wine all
Oh,
day.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's go, Carly.
Yes.
After this. Okay.
Big barefoot contestant fans here. Leanne Reeves says Norman's chef Jason Alexander from the Alexander Culinary Labs. This is not the Jason Alexander from Seinfeld.
That was my mental image.
I'm still picturing.
I don't know how well he would do.
He has a lot of free time now, so maybe he's
true.
good.
Ramona Villar says Jeremy Allen White's The Bear.
I wonder if he can really cook.
I
You
bet
would
he
have to
can.
think to some degree.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He doesn't look like someone who would cook very well.
You never know.
I think he makes, he literally plays someone who is a chef.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe he's learned some things.
I mean, I don't want Patrick Dempsey performing surgery on me. That's what I'm saying.
I bet he has a few dishes. Everyone's got a few, like, dishes.
Yeah.
Signature dishes. Yeah.
And finally, Heidi Hill says, I choose between Guy Fieri and Reed Drummond.
Good choices. Delicious.
Yeah, that Reed Drummond is another one that, like, I would love to just go hang out at her ranch and just, eat apps all day and stuff.
She can cook some food.
That restaurant's great.
She
Yeah.
can.
Yeah.
It really is delicious.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of my favorite genres of food is, like,
Comfort food.
mom.
Yeah.
Well, those were some really great answers, but now it's time to hear from a real chef. Let's bring on Chef Jet Tila, and I have to say this, Britta Erickson from the Choctaw Casino and Resort. I screwed up on the interview, and I said Britta Thompson. Britta, please forgive me. I'm just trying to do my best. All right, so I hope you've got a snack laying around somewhere while you're listening to this interview, because you're probably going to get a little hungry. Celebrity chef Jet Tila, you know him from the Food Network. He's on just about every show on there, it seems. He'll be doing a chef takeover at the Choctaw Casino and Resort in Pocola. And we've got Britta Thompson here to tell us about the chef takeover program. Britta, when did all this begin, and what was sort of the inspiration behind the chef takeovers?
Well, our very first one happened at the beginning of the month, but this is something that I've really wanted to do for several years at Choctaw. I think as a foodie myself who loves really anything on the Food Network, but the opportunity to get to try different things and sort of travel the world by food, it's always something that I've been super interested in. And I think things just really came together for us at the Choctaw property in Pocola this year for us to be able to really try and put this together. So we concepted this kind of takeover event and then did a little reaching out to see who might be interested in coming out to the Fort Smith area for us to try to do this with us. And we were very fortunate to have Alex Guarnaschelli joined us very early on. She was our very first one. And our second choice to bring in was to have Jet Tila come in. And it was fantastic. Even at Chef Guarnaschelli's takeover event, we had people asking when we were going to release the menu for Jet Tila, and they couldn't wait to book those tickets too. So he is almost sold out. I checked this morning. I think we have about 15 tables left. So it's been a really great start for us. Little impetus there.
Register for that.
I'm sorry?
Where can people register for the chef takeover event?
Our tickets are on Ticketmaster, but if you go to the Choctaw Casino's website, choctawcasinos.com, you can find the links through there.
Right. And just that's December 28th and 29th is when Jet's going to be there, right?
Yes.
Yes. Very nice. Well, Jet, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start us off by reading the menu that I was sent that we've got prepared because it's really interesting. It starts with a Kobe beef sushi over crispy rice, and then that is followed with a hamachi chili yellowtail sashimi, and then from there the main course has a hoisin mustard heritage pork chop and a black cod misuyaki, and finally the dessert it's the Thai tea banana split. So I guess what sort of went into your inspiration behind the menu, and do you look forward to these kind of sort of pop-up kitchen events?
Yeah, thanks so much for having me, by the way. Yes. I'm always looking forward to any opportunities where we can kind of interface with fans. I think it's a really great program. I think, there have been some other national activations where, people would actually have to fly for, whatever wine and food festival, insert city name, but to kind of bring it to Choctaw and Pocola is just, like I said, is a phenomenal idea. I mean, we're talking about an area with a huge Food Network fans, B, this team that has a kind of a premier food and beverage hotel casino, I mean, it really is kind of the perfect night. And also, the environment, I came from, casino hotels. The environment there is, you're always kind of fun and you're always celebrating. So for sure, man, again, it's always exciting for me to go places where I think, it would be unexpected for a Food Network personality to pop up. And this kind of marries all of those really great things together.
Mm-hmm. Whenever you have these pop-up events, are you excited to sort of get creative with the menu? What's sort of your thought process there?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of the menu, I think it's important to kind of understand the audience and the location that is hosting. This is a premier steakhouse, probably one of the best in the entire region. So I wanted to keep the menu, very, tight to what you would expect in a steakhouse, right? And I mean, one of the dreams for me that I don't get to do often is to write a steakhouse menu. I do a lot of Asian food. So to kind of take the lens of what I cook and wrap it into a steakhouse menu is really exciting for me and my team. And also, we also want to be surprising and with a twist, right? And that's where Kobe beef comes in. That's where, I love a good banana split. Who doesn't? And it makes sense to finish off with a classic dessert, but let's kind of twist it up and make it Thai. So, the menu comes from A, what I want to eat, B, what I think would really make sense in the space, and kind of C, fun for the audience that watches us on Food Network to experience.
Right. Now, do you feel comfortable stepping into just any kitchen, or does it take a minute to sort of adjust to the new environment?
No, I think it depends on the chef. I wasn't on TV until I was darn near 40 years old. And before that, I worked in hotels, casinos, big corporations. I was at Google, NBC, DreamWorks. I mean, this kind of cooking is what we call in the industry production cooking, because you're actually, doing 300 meals a night. Mm-hmm. And I came from that background. So I think if you had a restaurant chef or like a private chef who maybe has only done restaurants or small groups, that's one thing. But, me and my team are tight. And we fed, when I was in tech in the 2000s, we would feed 10,000 people a day. So right. I'm very comfortable. We, the team at Choctaw and I have had a bunch of phone calls. We'll have a bunch of phone calls before. My chef is going out a few days before me. And no, this is what we do, man. And we enjoy doing it.
Right. Now, for the our listeners who might not know, your family actually opened up the very first, Thai restaurant market in LA. Is that right?
Yeah, we started Thai food in America in the 60s. I think people have watched me on TV and, maybe on Iron Chef or Tournament or Cutthroat. But my family's claim to fame before television was all Thai food ties back to the Tila family in Los Angeles in 1972.
Yes. So did you know that you were going to make a career out of food back then? What was that like?
No, man, I was really good at making trouble. I mean, I think like a lot of culinarians, a lot of chefs and cooks, I had pretty bad ADD and undiagnosed because, I was in the 70s and the 80s. But it's not that I wasn't learning. So I didn't know what I was going to do with my life. But since we grew up in so many food businesses, I realized in my early 20s that, that 10,000 hour rule, if you do 10,000 hours in a field or a craft, you're probably going to be darn good at it. I've already done my 20,000 hours by the time I was 20 because of all of our food businesses. So it was just a seamless transition for me. And once I realized there was a channel that had chefs on and chefs were becoming famous, and I could take my love for communications and culinary and do something with it, it was kind of a no-brainer.
Mm-hmm. Well, so nowadays Thai food is fairly common, even here in Oklahoma, pretty much everywhere you go. But back then, I mean, did it take some work to get people adjusted to just this different kind of cuisine?
Yeah, no, my dad would tell the stories. I mean, we opened our first restaurant in like 79. So I was 4 years old and no one knew what Thai food was. They kind of knew what Chinese was and a little bit of, this is actually pre-sushi kind of as well. And he'd have to give the food away. I mean, we opened our first restaurant and, it was going kind of slow. And he literally was like, eat for free. And if you like it, come back. And that's kind of how it all started. And I think it really took off in the like late 80s, early 90s. That's when I think Thai food really exploded, and it has only kind of gotten more popular ever since.
Yes. Aren't you an official Thai culinary diplomat?
Yeah, believe it or not, I'm the Thai culinary ambassador. So my job is to support the government, our Thai government, as a liaison to the American government, and also support all the Thai restaurants around the country. I don't have diplomatic immunity. I don't really get paid, but it's a fun official title that I'm lucky to have.
Yes. Well, it was sort of we had a cover story with Oklahoma Today magazine years ago about Thai food in Oklahoma. And it was sort of an ingenious move from the Thai government to really push the the Thai diplomacy through the culinary arts. And I think one of the main reasons that's so smart is just because food breaks, so many boundaries for us. It opens us up to new kinds of experiences and people.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. Look, food is non-political.
Right.
You know what? And I take my job on Food Network very seriously. I'm the first Thai person, to kind of note to be on Food Network regularly. I'm one of the few Asian people that is on, food television generally nationally. And, my job is not just for the Thai government, but it's also kind of for Asian food and Asian people in general. We talk about representation. And I'm not to get super into it, but it is my job to be a diplomat of not just Thai people, but Asian Asian cuisine. Just to kind of normalize. Kids like me that are growing up everywhere will see me and go, oh, okay, I get it. And kids that don't look like me go, oh, that cuisine isn't weird or crazy, and I love it. And there's a representative of it, and then now I can go visit them. December 27, 20 at Choctaw. What a fun deal. Yeah,
exactly. Now, I mentioned earlier that you're on a bunch of different Food Network shows, Chopped, Beat Bobby Flay, Guys Grocery Games. You've got your own show. Where do people recognize you the most from that you see?
Oh, it's like 99% Food Network now. Yeah. You know what I mean? Unless I'm cruising around LA or again, going back really quickly to the Asian community way back in the day. But, young people would be mostly like the millennials would say Cutthroat Kitchen.
Yeah.
Right. Across the board, Triple G and Tournament of Champions is our biggest show on the network. So it's a nice cross section of all people, but it's all from Food Network for sure.
Yes. Now, I love Guys Grocery Games. That is the Guys grocery set. That's got to be one of the most impressive sets that's been on TV.
And it is a set. You've heard. Yeah, it's a set, man. I was on season 1 of that show something like 14 years ago, and we shot it in a grocery store, and eventually they migrated it to a set in Santa Rosa. It's like 60,000 square foot set, man. They built a grocery store.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything that they don't stock in the Guy store that you wish they would put in there?
I would actually flip it and say Guy store is probably better stocked than most grocery stores.
Because it is very impressive.
Yeah. They'll ask all of us chefs that are either judging or competing, what are we missing?
Yeah.
And then just over 13 years, we probably have the most chefy store in the history of grocery stores.
Yes. It's probably just a matter of time before we have the Flavor Town grocery store chain.
You know what? I've known that man for a long time. Anything is possible, for sure.
Right. Chef, have you been to Oklahoma before? Will this be your first time?
Yeah, no, I've been to Oklahoma, man. Actually, neighboring. I think I've been to Oklahoma City. I've been, so my travels have taken me everywhere. Again, pre-TV world, you know what I mean? I've been the southern tip of Oklahoma up through Dallas, and and so I've been there actually a few times. I've come through Kansas as well before, so and I've also come through Arkansas.
Yes.
A lot of the work people don't know that I do is with either private dinners for benefactors or a lot of charity work. I think we did the Chris Kyle charity at our other Choctaw property 2 years ago. So is that Durant, I think? But yeah, man, I'm no stranger to Oklahoma.
Right. Well, I brought it up because you've got the Sunday on your menu. Have you been to a Brahms before? Do you know Brahms?
No, man, catch me up. What is that?
Brahms is the like local fast food chain in Oklahoma. They're only in like Oklahoma, Kansas, and Arkansas. It's kind of like the Culver's of Oklahoma.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. And then they do Sundays. Is that a thing?
Oh
there?
yeah, Sundays, shakes, burgers, and they've even got their own little grocery store in there.
All right, Britta. I guess we're going to Brahms ASAP. And I'll post it on my social media.
We can do that for sure. We've got one in town.
Yeah. So while I'm there too, I'm going to be I'll be popping into Arkansas, I think, to hang out with my buddy from Wright's Barbecue as well. So yeah.
Well, Chef, it's been a pleasure to have you on the podcast today. Just once again, your takeover at the Choctaw Casino and Resort will be December 28th and 29th. Thanks so much for joining us on the show today.
Yeah, you bet. Looking forward to it. Get on those tickets really quick because it will sell out. And if it does sell out, it'll just be an indicator that we got to do it again. So looking forward to being.
Well, I had a lot of fun talking to Jet, and he is real life good friends with Guy Fieri. And I was just 1 degree of separation away from the legend.
That's cool. I thought of another Oklahoma chef, actually. Is Danny Bowian. Mission Chinese in San Francisco, Mission Cantina in New York.
Yeah, I want to drink with
was
that
like
guy
hanging
too.
out with Anthony Bourdain and stuff. I know. Yeah.
I'm glad we didn't leave that one out.
We love Dan.
Well, now it's time for podvents. This is the part of the show where we go through the travelok.com event calendar, pick out a few of our favorite gyms. Is there anyone who'd like to go first this week? Kirsten volunteers tribute. Thank you.
Well, so up here a little bit. First of all, how many of y'all right now think that the holidays are going by so fast and they have just zoomed?
Yes.
Yeah, it feels like it.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you got all
It
out of your
feels like
holiday?
Thanksgiving was just a few days ago.
Yeah. I haven't even started, but by the time this airs, I will have.
Yeah. Okay.
True.
Yeah.
Well, if you're still feeling in the spooky spirit rather than the holly jolly, you can combine both. In the perfect transition of holidays, the Creepy Christmas Lights Tour is lighting up the night for the 9th year in a row. Hosted by Tulsa Spirit Tours, the tour is an hour-and-a-half bus ride where you can learn about the often overlooked, darker side of Christmas through tales of traditions, legends, and other folklore from around the world. And for an even eerier effect, creepy Christmas music will be played in the background as the bus makes its way through the dazzling light displays. Tickets are $35, reservations are required, and as of December 12th, tours are available on select nights all the way until December 23rd. For times, tickets, and more information, visit tulsaspirittour.com and click on the Tours and Registration tab. So make this holiday like no other and have a happy Creepmas.
I need to head to that some year because I read about that all the time. And, creepy Christmas lights, sign me up for that.
I've never done that one, but Tulsa Spirit Tours are amazing. We did the underground one that
But
time.
I like that this one is a bus tour because it's going to be real cold.
I appreciate that.
That's nice.
Inside.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm going to go second just because it's easier that way. Well,
I'm going to attempt to talk in a really soft voice because my event is the Winter Disc Golf Open at Arrowhead State Park on December 21st. As we all know, my normal voice is just way too loud to be talking at max volume as these golfers focus on nailing their opening drives. The only real time I can speak up is when the players finally feel out their shot, wind up, and let it rip, and I can yell, "Get in the hole!" Woo! Yeah! Well, not the hole, but like the chain basket thing.
Right.
You know what I mean. Anyway, this is a disc golf open. Yes, that is golf with a frisbee. You've seen the game. It is open to seasoned vets and casual players alike. You'll be competing at Arrowhead's full 18-hole par 54 course. And this is December, so they've got to have a Christmas theme. In addition to the competition, there will be a wrapped disc exchange. Bring a gift-wrapped disc to exchange with a fellow player. It's a great way to make new friends and relish in the holiday season. There's no registration fee to enter, but it does cost $8 for a parking pass if you plan on driving in for the day. For more information, call the park office at 918-339-2204.
That sounds really fun. Have you guys ever played disc golf?
No.
Yeah.
I have played.
Did you like it?
I like it. I'm not good at it.
Yeah. I think I could be good with practice. I just don't practice throwing the frisbee a lot.
Right.
So it takes me a while to warm up.
Yeah.
It is a fun game though.
Okay. I live not far from Will Rogers Park, and they have a huge ice course, and so I always think I should try that. Yeah, they have a big one.
I never noticed that.
Nathan, what's your event?
I really like my event this time. I think it's really fun. But it got me thinking, when you sent it to me, I was reading the little description that you sent me, and it got me thinking about monoculture. You guys know what monoculture means?
Yes.
Kind of back in the day when we all saw kind of the same movies and had the same TV shows and the same,
everyone watched
everyone
MASH.
kind of experienced the same thing, and there's been a lot written lately about kind of exactly the death of
Hey, MASH is
monoculture,
great.
right? There aren't these big we were all there events, right? And people talk about this a lot, but I kind of disagree, right? I think we all heard espresso. I think we all know that Wicked exists,
Yeah.
right?
That's
I
true.
think we're all aware that something is going on with college football in Oklahoma.
Something is going on.
Okay, a great example. I've never in my life seen an episode of The Big Bang Theory, but I know Bazinga. I know that reference, right?
Sure.
Right, never seen it. So that got me thinking about, that's what I got to think about when I read about Breakfast with Santa at the BOK Center, and here's why. Is because there are still elements of monoculture around, and two of the biggest ones are princesses and superheroes, right? And bigger now than when I was a kid. When I was growing up in the 80s, man, it was years between princess or superhero, whatever your thing was, things, right? And now they're just everywhere. You can just get them whenever you... Yeah. So if you go to Breakfast with Santa at the BOK Center in Tulsa, 8:30 a.m. December 21st, it's $30 a person or $15 for kids under 3. There will be princesses and superheroes there. But they will not be taking gift requests. You cannot replace Big Red, right? Princesses and superheroes, we love them, but Big Red is Big Red.
Right. Red one, as they say these days.
While there will be princesses and superheroes walking around, have your photo taken with them. If you want someone to know what you want for Christmas, you need to get in line for the man with the bag, right? So there will be a delicious meal in the grand lobby of the BOK Center. There'll be breakfast, it's actual breakfast. There'll be face painting and inflatables. That's gonna be fun. Again, the aforementioned princesses and superheroes will be there, and also there'll be Santa taking gift requests, taking photos, and just generally being the champion of monoculture that we know today. Everybody loves Santa. So go to the BOK Center, 8:30 a.m., December 21st. $30 a person, $15 for kids under 3. BOKcenter.com is the website, and there's an events thing, and you can just click right there.
What do you think Santa's preferred breakfast is? I think it's Cookie Crisp cereal.
I think Santa's cardiologist has him on smoothies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna guess a lot of meat.
He's got to get ready. He's got to.
Yeah, he's training. He's in training.
He's on the carnivore diet.
Yeah.
He's on the carnivore diet.
I don't know. I could see Mrs. Claus in the kitchen cooking up a whole big home-style breakfast.
Totally.
Yes.
Yeah.
When he has time. He's a busy guy.
Yeah. Well, one night a year.
He just carries a drumstick with him. And
The rest of the year he's just sitting in the couch in the den watching Miracle on 34th Street over and over and over.
He's just pulling drumsticks out of the sack. Megan, what is your event this time?
Even for those of us that love the holidays, it's a time of year that can make you feel like you're losing your mind. Fortunately, though, we don't have to live and work in the 1800s, but if you find yourself yearning for the pre-electronic age, come check your head at the Fort Gibson Historic Site Gingerbread Decoration Day, Saturday, December 21st. Here, you'll see what a nightmare it was to make cookies with a wood fire stove. Although you don't have to make the cookies, the park staff or the historic site staff, they will be making the cookies. So everybody just gets to enjoy those while they put in all that hard work. So we should thank them for that. I'll write them an email. Here you'll see, here you'll see cookies. From 10 a.m. to about 3 p.m., everyone will be at the mercy of the flames in this antique mammoth, as tasty gingerbread cookies emerge about every half hour to purchase for $5 and decorate in the Fort Commissary. Decor supplies will include era-appropriate ingredients like icing, cherry licorice, spice drops, and candy wafers. While you're at this northeastern Oklahoma site, take a tour of Fort Gibson's museum, gift shop, and walking trail. For more information, call 918-478-4088.
That's cool.
That sounds like
Fort
fun.
Gibson's fun. It's definitely a good time to visit anytime, but especially during that.
Yeah, but like going to Fort Gibson and getting cookies, that sounds like
win-win.
Right.
Yeah, sounds like a pretty good deal to me.
A win-win for sure. Carly, what's your event this time?
So if you saw the 2008 box office bomb, The Happening, the name of this event may give you some anxiety. But don't fear Factory Obscura's March of the Trees, for these gallivanting groves mean us no harm. In fact, they aren't trees at all, but humans dressed as their favorite arboreal beings, from Christmas conifers to youthful yews and everything in between. Beginning December 21st at 5:30 p.m. at Oklahoma Contemporary, participants can enjoy art-themed activities, refreshments, and a walk through a labyrinth. Then at 6:30, the march will commence down Automobile Alley all the way to Factory Obscura's Mixtape on 9th Street, where live music and camaraderie await. It may not be the way the ancients celebrated the solstice, but they didn't have access to Michael's or Hobby Lobby. There's no need to register or buy tickets, but you can check out factoryobscura.com for more details.
I've been to that before. It is so fun.
It looks like a lot
It's
of
a
fun, and what a
blast.
unique way to celebrate the solstice.
Do y'all want to go? I'll go if you guys want to go.
I think it'd be really fun.
Okay.
I don't know if I'll actually dress up as a tree.
I didn't last time either.
Okay.
But when I went last time, it's been a few years. But when I went, they when you show up, they have some things you could put on.
Oh,
they have
nice.
some little strings of little battery powered lights.
Oh, that's
and little
fun.
conifer branches and stuff. So you can kind of dress up there. But also a lot of people just didn't, and they just marched, and it was fine. It's very free. It's a very nice event. It was really fun. And then when we got to Factory Obscura, they had this really great little kind of rock and roll string quartet, sort of classical rock and roll fusion kind of thing. It was really great music, and my friend Aubrey and I just sat in that little cubby in the back where that stage is. And you climb up and you're in that thing, and we just sat in there and watched that music for an hour. We had the best time.
So nice.
Yeah, we had the best time. It's a nice event. It's really fun. Yeah.
Well, it's time for Star of the Show, and I'm going to have to give it to food. Food
Yay!
is always the winner.
I like it. Can I also nominate Chris's glasses?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they're pretty awesome.
Yeah, they were
The
pretty
glasses
great.
he was wearing before. No,
Yeah.
Not these.
Great.
These are, those are great. Those are, it's serving, but the green was excellent.
Also a trivia winner.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Anita.
From Blanchard. Anita
Yeah.
from Blanchard. Yes.
Way to go, Anita.
Congratulations. Well, that's all we have for you this week. This has been the show. From here to Altus, home of the Museum of the Western Prairie, as the Oklahoma Today podcast. Head to oklahomatoday.com or pick up our latest issue on newsstands right now. Send your feedback to oktpod@travelok.com. I'll talk to you again next week.
Goodbye.
Bazinga. Is that right?
Yes.
I think
Okay.
so. I've
Sort
never
of.
seen that.
It's bazinga. It's like at the end of a joke.
I think you have to say
Like a
it
prank.
really forced.
Sorry.
All right. I guess we'll just take it from the top. Full of protein and delicious. God, let's start from the top. And okay. Oh well. Now I'm getting
Breathe.
some sort of spam call. And welcome back to the Oklahoma Today podcast. I'm your host, Ben Lucian, and
I wish we could just keep that in.
Can you smell?
Can that be the opener?